Mr. Evans. This is Dr. Hickman. How are you doing? Doing good. We are getting ready in a couple minutes to start the meeting, so I'm going to set the phone down and just say something if you need our attention, okay? All right. All right.
Hello there. We'll be starting the meeting in just a few minutes. Should be.
Yeah, it should be.
We got three things, but I'm giving y'all this so you can get, that's the one. I can be it down in a second.
I rode through out there the other day, saw the animals during the day after that.
That's tomorrow?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of them got 5 steers and heifers, and a bunch of sheep,
Is the sheep with it?
bunch of lambs.
Yeah. That's all what I saw.
And then the crop, they was the barn, and the calves and the white barn. And then after the George National Fair, the sheep will be gone. Sheep.
I thought they were that pig barn.
Yeah, it was both.
So it's multi.
Oh, It's 5:30, so I'd like to call to order this called meeting of the Monroe County Board of Education. This called meeting has specific purposes of the final consideration of the 21-22 millage rate, paperwork and requirements dealing with the proposed college and career academy application, and approval of certain personnel actions. I'd generally like to start the meeting with some either historical fact or some reminder of what we're all about. And today I want to look at two things. Our guiding principles as a Board of Education. First of all, in the area of academic achievement, we believe all students can learn and achieve. We believe in providing an environment of high expectations, respect, and dignity. And we believe in promoting student learning and success by using a variety of teaching strategies to meet the diverse learning needs of students. And another area of the guiding principles is fiscal responsibility. And on this meeting, when we're setting the final millage rate, I thought it'd be good if we were reminded we believe in responsible stewardship of financial resources that will optimize student achievement. All right, Ms. Bilderback, will you offer the invocation and lead us in the pledge to the flag?
Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day, dear God, and for bringing us together. And please give us the wisdom in each decision we make. And thank you for the staff and all the teachers. And just keep us all healthy, dear God, and just let us go forward and just have a good school year. And dear God, I ask that you be with the military and especially those in Afghanistan, and just keep us all safe. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Dr. Hickman, do you think anything?
I think it should be accurate, for approval.
All right, do I hear a motion that we approve the agenda as presented?
Move to approve.
Mr. Head, second Ms. Bilderback, any discussion?
No executive session needed.
No executive session needed. All right, all in favor of approving the agenda as presented, let me know by raising your hand. Mr. Evans, do you approve the agenda? Thank you. And that is unanimous with 6 voting for, and Dr. Goodwin is not present. And I will say that he contacted me a while ago. He is really swamped at the hospital. He was going to try to get here, but when he got to the hospital at about 5 minutes to 5, he did not think he was going to be able to make it. All right, the next item on the agenda is the final consideration of the 21-22 millage rate. Mr. Daniel?
All right, thank you. Board members, at the last meeting, we recommended and you accepted a recommendation of the rollback rate for the 2021 tax millage, which will fund our FY22 budget. And that rollback rate is 15.227. That's 3/10 roughly less than last year's rate. And we discussed it at length at the last meeting. Unless you have any questions, we would recommend final adoption of this millage rate. We've met all the requirements. It's been advertised in the paper. It's been on our website for the past week, been in the Monroe Messages newsletters, and all due notice of this decision, of this pending meeting to make this decision has been made. So we would make that recommendation.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Daniel?
15.227.
Correct.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Daniel? Do I hear a motion that it be approved as presented by the administration? Mr. Howard,
Motion that we approve.
I'll second.
seconded by Mr. Pippin. Any discussion? All in favor of the rollback millage rate of 15.227, let it be known by raising your hand. Mr. Evans, do you approve the rollback millage rate of 15.227?
Yes.
Thank you, that's unanimous, again, 6-4, and 1 person absent.
All right, thank you. We'll notify the county office tomorrow, and that process of billing for taxes for this year will begin. So, thank you.
All right, thank you. The next item on the agenda are several things having to do with our application for the College and Career Academies. We're still in the process of making the application, but there's several things that need to be put into place and approved by the board before our application can be submitted. And I think the deadline is September the 6th for that. So Dr. Hickman, you want to talk
Yes,
about?
ma'am. I'll walk you through what the packet we have here tonight. All right, the first thing that we'll need to do is there's a resolution. And so just so everybody knows, we have a contract with the state. It's called Strategic Waiver. We're a Strategic Waiver school system. We signed that back in 2016. And it basically gave us we could waive certain state Board of Education laws and protocols in order to make our school system run better. And so we've been on that contract since 2016. And when you apply for a College and Career Academy, if you get it, you have to make sure that that's added in on your contract with the State Board of Education. So it's just a normal process for a system that's applying. You have to go through this ahead of time to go ahead and get it approved by this board. And then once we approve that we're gonna amend our contract, then we're gonna talk about what that amendment is. And we'll send what we call a red line version of our entire contract. That's actually in here too, that we send up to the Board of Education in Atlanta. And they will, they will go ahead and approve it at the state board. And then we won't know, because I think there are 10 different systems that were on the call for the application that were available to do the application. Now, whether all 10 turned something in, I don't know. But you remember, there's $9 million and 3 grants. So, and now and this process, the application process is a lot. So, and the board of directors and our committee that meets, we will actually take you through all those documents at our upcoming meeting. I think we've got a Zoom meeting scheduled, and it will be in excess probably of, it's probably 150 pages. It's a lot. Sandy Caldwell, Alicia Elder, myself, and mostly Sandy's worked really hard on making sure that we've got this thing put together. But I think it's well worth our time. But so the first thing we're gonna need to do, and I'm gonna read the resolution to you. It says, whereas Monroe County Board of Education is the governing body of Monroe County School District, whereas the Monroe County Board of Education entered a contract with the State Board of Education on or about May 5th, 2016 for the operation of Monroe County Schools District as a strategic waiver school system, whereas the Monroe County Board of Education seeks to amend this contract. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education shall submit an amendment to the approved contract to take immediate effect in the 21-22 school year, and shall discuss the amendment in a public board meeting that includes designated time for public comment for the purpose of communication to the public regarding said amendment to the contract. And we'll add this on to the September meeting so that anybody that wants to come and say anything about the resolution that hopefully we pass tonight, they can ask any questions. And this will be adopted this 26th day of August 2021. And so that says that we're gonna, and I'm gonna go through all this and then we can go back and vote on it. But this is the resolution to amend our contract. The next strategic waiver school system contract actually speaks to the amendment, and we'll call it amendment number 1 because it's the only amendment we've had. And it goes through, if we'll go down to the third whereas the local board passed a resolution seeking to amend the contract by adding a college and career academy. Now therefore, the state board and local board mutually agree to amend the contract as follows. So this is going to be the amendment that is added to our contract, this wording. It says this contract will be based upon a term of 5 years of performance accountability, allowing 7 years of district flexibility for the purpose of setting school benchmarks initially, and then again to allow Georgia Department of Education to finalize year 5 performance results, since CCRPI data for year 5 will not be available until the following year. The additional year at the end of the contract also ensures the implementation of any consequences. Any college and career academy opened by or any existing college and career academy included in this contract must achieve certification by the Technical College of Georgia's Office of College and Career Academies by the end of the contract term. The local board will ensure the College and Career Academy has a governing board reflective of the school community and the partnership with decision-making authority, and that its governing board members complete the required hours of initial and annual governance training provided by the office during the contract term. And for Greg and Priscilla, more training. So, but we have to fulfill that board training just like you do on the Board of Education training. So it says, except as amended herein, the contract and all previous amendments are unaffected and shall continue in full force and effect in accordance with its terms. If there's a conflict between this amendment and the contract or any earlier amendment, the terms of this amendment will prevail. In witness whereof, the parties state and affirm that they are duly authorized to bind the respective entities designated below as of the day and year indicated. So once we approve this, we'll get Dr. Doster to sign off on this, the original copies I have back there, and this will be sent off to the board, and they will meet in, after our board meeting in September to actually approve the things we're sending up now. So that's the second thing that we have to approve, and now the last thing is just our contract. And what I did was, I just put in the contract where that wording that we just went through will be added. And it is
On
on
page 3.
page 3, and it should be in red, but it didn't copy off because it didn't do it in color. But you see where it starts, any college and career academy, down toward the bottom of the page? That's the wording from the previous resolution. So the other thing that you have is a board of director list. And basically, this has been the group that's met as we've been working on this project probably for a year and a half, or even more for some of us on this list. So those people that are on the board of directors are Mike Hickman, superintendent; Alicia Elmer, assistant superintendent; Jackson Daniel, assistant superintendent; Sandy Caldwell, CPA director; Jim Finch, MPHS principal; Joyce White, who is our new director of Forsyth Workforce Development; Eric Wilson, mayor of Forsyth; Greg Head, owner of Head Heating and Air and Monroe County Schools board member; Priscilla Doster, chairperson of Monroe County Board of Education; Kim Gunn, director of High School Initiatives, Central Georgia Technical College; Lorraine Smith, CEO, Monroe County Hospital; Tommy Johnston, president of Monroe County Chamber of Commerce and State Farm agent in our community; Greg Tapley, chairman of Monroe County Board of Commissioners; to Travian Jackson, director of Monroe and Crawford County Center, Central Georgia Technical College; and Tammy Marion, the CTA supervisor for married persons. That will be our board of directors that we will send up in our application packet. So, any questions about the information that you have? And just remember now, this is all, we haven't been approved yet. We're just doing everything in advance of making sure that we have our application ready and submitted to be looked at through Department of Education for hopefully that we'll be granted one of the grants for College and Career Academy here in Monroe County. So I'll turn it back over to Dr. Doster.
Okay, I think we can probably vote on these 3 things at the same time. The administration recommends approval of the board resolution to amend the strategic waiver school system contract with the State Board of Education. And that resolution is that first page on the top of the packet you gave us. The administration recommends approval of the attached contract amendment to the Monroe County Schools school system strategic waiver school system contract with the state DOE, and that has the markings in red of the wording from the resolution that have been added. And the third thing is the approval of the board directors. Do I hear a motion that all 3 of those items be approved?
Move to approve.
Greg Head, a motion. Second, Eva Bilderback. Any discussion of any of those items? Hearing no discussion, all in favor of the board resolution, the contract amendment, and the list of board directors for the Career Academy, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Mr. Evans, do you approve?
Yes.
Any opposition? Mr. Howard, I didn't hear you vote.
Yes,
Okay,
I said
thank
aye.
you.
I didn't raise my
I
hand.
didn't hear. All right, so that's 6 in favor and 1 person absent. So it passes unanimously. Okay? All right, the next item on the agenda is a job description. If we have a college and career academy, we have to have a CEO in place for that entity. So,
Thought I had your copies for that, but I guess we'll have to look on
I think it's on page 21, maybe?
Well, everybody doesn't have that packet that you and I have,
Oh,
not for a call meeting.
okay.
Does somebody want to share this copy? Does someone keep one?
We
Then I can-
Yeah.
Hold on.
You got it?
You just want to
Yes. Where was it? There it is. There it is.
Okay. So everybody can look on your screen or up above. Dr. Hickman, you on board?
Yes, I will. So, as Dr. Doster said, and I'm sorry I didn't get these copies before the meeting, thought I had. Control plus, I'm gonna make it a little bigger. Does that help? All right, so basically, we have to make sure that, we have somebody that, you have to have a CEO of the College and Career Academy. Now, they give you, you know, how we delineate that, who that will be, is all up to the local district and the board of directors of the College and Career Academy. And typically, you say, well, where does the money come from? Well, typically, it will come from CTAE grants plus local money. Usually, we do some type of match. We do that typically with our CTA positions that we already have. So it's gonna be a portion. Typically, it could be 60, 40, 50, 50, somewhere in that range. It could be a full-time employee, it could be a half-time employee. I mean, that's something that we, as a board of directors, will determine based on what we feel like we need for that position. But we do have to have somebody in this position that oversees the happenings at the College and Career Academy. And so we actually borrowed another systems, because since they already have this, we borrowed their job description for our own. And so you can see it reports to the board of directors. The required education is bachelor's degree or higher in business-related field or education, and then preferred master's degree or higher in business-related field or education. And then it talks about your experience and skills and certification preferred down below. And then it talks about the planning and evaluation portion of the job. And I'll let you look at that real quickly. It talks about budgeting, working with principals and all the stakeholders to make sure to articulate the academy's vision, making sure that they're collaborating with the school system in all ways, and the community and the workforce development, Middle Georgia Regional Commission. All those things need to be working together, and that person will kind of be in charge of doing that. Duties and responsibilities, and it basically takes you through what they're expected to do day to day in their role there. And then it goes into financial management, what they're expected to do, set a budget, propose a budget, and the board of directors would approve a budget, and from there we would be funded that way. Community relationships, it talks about how we have to involve all the community members, business community, local, regional workforce, to make sure that we are providing training and available opportunities, not only for our students, but for members of the community. I think that's what we've talked about doing all along. So this is a general job description for this role in the state of Georgia. So we just used what we found for college and career academies. Any questions? And obviously we wouldn't, until we got to that point, we wouldn't hire that until we got to a point that we can use them. Yeah. And we'll know, I've heard that we'll know by probably second or third week in December is when I was told we would get feedback back on these applications. So we would ask, if there's no questions, approval of the CEO job description for our hopeful College and Career Academy that will be housed here on the Board of Education campus for College and Career Academy.
All right, before I call for a motion to approve the job description, I'd like to correct one typo.
Okay.
That's on the second line of the job description, there's just a space missing.
Programs app.
Programs app.
Yeah. All right.
There's just one space missing. Everything else looks fine with me.
Good
The
answer.
chair will entertain a motion to approve the job description for the chief executive officer of our proposed College and Career Academy.
I make that motion.
Ms. Bilderback makes a motion, seconded by Mr. Howard. Anybody have any discussion about the job description or anything about it? All in favor of the job description, and remember, this position will not be filled until we know we have the grant, depending upon our being awarded the grant. All in favor, let me know by raising your hand. Mr. Evans, do you approve the job description for the College and Career Academy CEO?
Yes.
Thank you. That's unanimous with 6 voting yes and 1 absent. Personnel, Mr. Daniel?
I've got just a few personnel actions that I will give you on a blue sheet. All of these positions are classified positions. We have a parapro for hire at Monroe County Achievement Center to fill an opening that we've had. You got 5 resignations, all classified employees, all for a variety of reasons, but all very good reasons for these individuals. And you got very blessed to have a transportation trainee who will be coming on to be trained as a bus driver, and our most recent trainee who is now CDL licensed and will become a full-time bus driver tomorrow. Or actually, we actually started using him when he got licensed this week. But those are the personnel actions for tonight. Any questions? I would be glad to try to
Mr.
answer.
Daniel? The chair will
Otherwise,
entertain
we
a
would
motion.
make a recommendation that they be approved.
The chair will entertain a motion that we approve the recommendations of personnel actions.
Move to approve.
Mr. Head, is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Tippin, any discussion?
Do we have enough
Excuse me?
food people now?
Do what?
Mm-hmm. We,
Just wondered if you have enough
we got
food
some of those back.
assistance.
Yeah, Miss Bud was helping us for a minute. Well, the whole school was helping, so, yes, she's back.
All right. All in favor of the approval of the personnel actions as proposed, let me know by saying aye. Raise your hand. Ms. Evans, you approve the personnel actions?
Yes.
Thank you. That's unanimous, 6 in favor and 1 absent. Dr. Hicks, you have reminders for us?
Yeah, it's just a couple of things in here. Tomorrow night, we have a home game versus McDonough. On Saturday night, the 28th, we have the Sandy Patty concert at Fine Arts Center at 7:30. September 6th is Labor Day, and then September 14th will be our next regular board meeting after Labor Day. And just a reminder, it's just to everyone that's dealing with COVID right now, whether it be a teacher, whether it be our doctors, our nurses, our hospital, fire rescue, everybody's being affected. Just like everybody, to remind everyone to keep them in our prayers and our thoughts as we continue to work through this latest surge that we've seen all over the state, really all over the nation, but a lot in the state of Georgia. The COVID positive cases are probably as high as they've been, at least back to January, during that surge that we had in the winter. So just keep that in mind, and we'll keep doing all that we can do every day to be as safe as we can be.
Okay, you have kind of revised the way we report our COVID.
Yeah, just
cases.
a reminder, I
Clarify.
reminded the board earlier today, we were getting, well, the bottom line is how we were reporting the cases on our website was not necessarily timely as it relates to when the cases were actually happening. And I'll explain that real quickly. When we process a case at central office through our safety, through Ms. Napier, she actually has to fill out a form, and she has to fill out a lot of information on there, and typically we get some type of positive test, and we get all types, rapid tests, different types that we get sent, and so she tries to upload all that, and it takes time to process that. Well, last year, when we did it, we had a standing rule that anything that she got to before 4 o'clock each day, she would post it on that day, and then the next would just go to the next day. Typically, that's how the Department of Public Health did it, and that's the only reason we knew to do it. Well, you fast forward to now, with the number of cases we're seeing, and the availability to get all that done timely, it was not working. And what it appeared like, so when Ms. Napier would follow up with a case that might have been 3 days ago at KB Sutton, she would put it at the end of that day being right there, which it was not timely because the case maybe had already happened. It was nothing intentional, it was just a way that just takes time. So what I've done, I've cut out that part, and I'm working directly with the schools on the initial, when we get the initial information, I'm gonna take it straight from their spreadsheets every 2 days and share it like I've been shared it with y'all today. I think it gives a little bit better picture of what's happening in the district, and then we do it 2 days, then we can see the trends as we kind of go out, but,
And she's still reporting to DPA.
yeah, she's still doing
Same
everything.
way, we just taking our information
Right.
to the public.
So, right, you're gonna know it, it's gonna be within 2 days, very, very accurate. It's instead of being maybe behind several days. Because some people were saying, well, I know, I just got called, but it didn't show up today. Well, it was because it hadn't been processed yet, and I understand, and I get that. So, we're just trying to improve that process. We still need to upload the cases to DPH, but I think the parents in the community, this will be better for them to see what's going on in a more timely manner. So I'll do that myself, so I can just go ahead and pull those numbers and send them out. And it's a live link, so when I update it, it just updates it on the website. So that's what I did earlier today. I hope that'll be better for everybody. Avoid any confusion that might have come up with that. But we were just, it's just overwhelming the number of cases that we've had real quick. Try to get them uploaded and posted.
So if teachers have to be out, are they having to use their own sick leave?
No, if they're, depending if they're out for, COVID purposes, no. No.
Okay, what about if their child has COVID and they have to quarantine with them, which you don't know whether they're.
Only thing right now that we guaranteed, and we're gonna talk through that, but anytime that, they're positive, we have committed to the CARES Act to cover that. Exposure, because like for our employees, if they can avoid exposure by, most are vaccinated, or they can opt to come to work. If they opt out of that, then that would actually affect their pay, so to speak. If they positive COVID, they can't come to school.
I don't know if she was, she just said that her daughter wasn't, they told her she couldn't come to work.
If it's something that we've not let them come, obviously we can, do that, but if they've been quarantined even in the same household, they can come. So what I'm saying is, vaccinated in the same household, they can come to work. So the only way would be that they weren't, and so I don't know that we want to put out that if you should be able to come back to work is what I'm saying, if you've been vaccinated. So
So we're putting if you get vaccinated on the end of that?
well, it's just the truth. That's the DPH protocols that you can come back.
Okay, a couple more reminders. At your place, you have an invitation, little packet from the Hubbard Alumni Association with the program agenda for the September 11th ribbon cutting of the William Hubbard Complex. There are lots of things going on that campus now. Actually, the week before, on September the 4th, the Black History Museum is having their grand opening on Saturday, September 4th. And then the actual dedication of the whole complex is on Saturday, September 11th. So I encourage you, if at all possible, to attend that. And you also have an invitation from the Mary Persons High School FFA chapter. It's a challenge to come see what they're doing. It tells about how much our FFA program and 4-H program have grown in the land showing, and they're challenging us to come learn what it's all about and try our hand at showing land. And that will be at 5 o'clock on Monday, September 13th. So there's just a little invitation, and you need to let Will Waldrop know if you're interested in participating in that. Okay?
I think that's it. Any other reminders?
Do we have a motion?
I do, that we adjourn.
A motion to adjourn by Ms. Bilderback. Is there a second?
Yes.
Motion by Ms. Bilderback, seconded by Mr. Evans. All in favor, let it know by saying aye. Aye. Mr. Evans, aye. In favor?
Yes.
Aye. Thank you.
All right.
Meeting is